everyone, this is Sterling with InternetBusinessMastery.com, and I'm going to give you some basic tips today on getting started with mind maps. Now, the reason we decided to do this video is because we believe that mind mapping is really important because it's a tool that works exactly the way your brain works, which is nonlinear. And what I mean by that is most of the time when we're coming up with a new project design or a new business design that we want to do with an internet business, most people, they've just got a notepad in front of them and they want to try and map out something that's completely all over the place. Like you might want to talk about marketing for a second, and then your brain skips over to how the website's going to look, and then your brain skips over to here, and now you want to add something here. And to do that on a piece of paper is not impossible, but crazy to have to try and do that. And especially when you've got a software like we do nowadays where you can do it for you, which is what we're going to show you today. Another thing that's important is it's really easy to make changes with mind maps. And I'll show you that in this video, as well as it's easy to keep track of projects and map out and really flush out ideas. So let's get started. Here we go. This is the MindJet Mind Manager Pro that we use here. And we start off when you start a project, you get a new map, you get this right here, and we're going to start by clicking in here and changing the name. Alright, so very simple. Obviously you click in it and highlight it, and you can change the name there. And now we're going to want to start adding nodes to this project so that we can start changing things up and adding things as we want. And one of the ways to do that is to enter a topic, which would add yourself a main topic here. And when you're in here, you can add a subtopic, which adds this here. I'm going to delete it for now. So let's do this, and we'll call this is called a child node. We'll do number 1, and then I'm going to go ahead and click back on here, add another one. Now, there's a lot of ways to format these, and I'm not going to go too much in detail, just to show you that if you right click here and you go to format topic, you've got a whole bunch of ways you can make this mind map work depending on what it is you're going to do. If you want more of an org chart, we've talked about that on the show at Internet Business Mastery, the podcast. It's got one already set up for you here. And here's the one that it automatically does. Here's one I use a lot. Looks like this, and you can actually even make that look quite a bit different just by looking through all of these and figuring out what it is you want. I'm going to go back to the main mind map. Go ahead and apply that. Now, here's some things of how easy this is to move around. So let's say we've got this idea, and we just have an idea right here, and we come up with this idea, and we want to maybe put this over here. You just literally left click, grab it, and you can move these things around. You decide this wants to go here, bam, you can do that. Take it out, grab it here, and it's really awesome when you have like 40 of these things and you're just coming up with ideas and you're just adding stuff to your projects all the time. It makes it much easier if you can just simply grab something, put it where it goes. Whereas if you're trying to write all this down on a notepad to try and move something, you're going to have to draw arrows, and obviously it gets really crazy. But let's put this back out here, and I'm going to show you. Now this is just stuff we use. This mind mapping software very basically. I actually don't know a whole ton of stuff that you can do with it because I'm just like, I want it to do the things that I want to do. I haven't gone through and learned all the 20 different ways you can use this, but here's just the basic stuff that we do. Here's another thing that I use. So let's say this is a task, child node number 1. You can go up here into the icons, and you've got all sorts of icons you can use. Now this is one of the ones I use. So as I'm going through, let's say this is a task of some sort, and I'm going through the project, I can actually click this and show how far along in the project I am, which I really, really like. That's probably the number one icon I use. There's also to show which priority things are, which I use that as well. And those are the main two that I use, but obviously there's a whole bunch more, and you can come in here and see what other icons they are and really flesh things out with the icons. Alright, so there's the absolute basics, but now I'm going to show you a couple of things that I use to put together all my projects and even run my personal life and stuff with this. Now here we go. Here's something I just started because I'm trying to put everything in one or two places so that I can run everything from a little command center. And this is one of the first things I did is I set this up. I've got my businesses under here, and this is the thing I wanted to show you how great this is. You can actually add these little hyperlinks to any of these nodes, so you can click on one map and it takes you wherever you want to go. So for instance, if I click on this little icon right here, it will take me right here. This is my Google Calendar, and I can just run. If I want to open up my Google Calendar or Google Documents or go to different links, I can actually do it all from right here. So here, if I want to go to my projects, I can click this and it'll bring up my Google Documents. So I can go here. So if you think about it, you can take one map and basically run a bunch of different things from it. Projects, tasks, things that you do all the time. You can all run it from one mind map, which anything that makes things a lot easier, I'm all for. So that's one of the things. Now, just really quickly, I wanted to show you how you actually add one. So let's say we wanted to add a hyperlink right here, and you can simply right click and you can either go to the web and add your link, or you can open a file anywhere on your system and add a link to that, which I did right here. This is the actual mind map of our Internet Business Mastery business, and I can just click that and it'll actually bring up that file as well. Okay, so one last thing that I use all the time is alarms. I love alarms. So for instance, here's just one I haven't put into my personal alarms yet. I do them out here and then I sort them where they need to go. But there's a John Adams show that's coming on HBO that I want to get. So I added a little alarm that will actually come up on my desktop whenever I schedule it to and tell me, remind me to do it. So the easy way to do that is simply go here, click on the node that you want to add the alarm to, go to Insert, come over to this little bell right here, and add alert. And it actually, you can type in what the subject is, you can tell it the date, time, how far in advance you want the reminder. You can even do it as a recurrence so that every week it'll remind you. And then when you click OK, it sets up the alarm for you. And then again, when you're just on your desktop, if you want it to show up at 8 in the morning, then you got your computer on and it just shows up. You don't have to have the mind mapping program open. That's what I like. I had problems because I used Outlook all the time and was doing it, and it just didn't work for me that way. But anyway, so here you go. There's just some basics. What I wanted to tell you is what you can do now is you can simply go to internetbusinessmastery.com/mind maps and get a link to a couple of different mind mapping softwares, from a free one to some online ones to the one we use, which is MindJet. And you can check that out there at internetbusinessmastery.com/mind maps. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you on the podcast at internetbusinessmastery.com.
Of all the sites on the internet, there is only one where exclusive content is waiting to be found. Visit internetbusinessmastery.com now. Sign up for the email newsletter and discover the Web 2.0 Internet business secrets that will transport you into the next stage of the internet. Experience all 90 minutes of money-making, traffic-boosting strategies. internetbusinessmastery.com.